All right, cool. Hey, listen, welcome back to Mic Check, man. Yet another episode. We're pushing into episode number 11 at this point, and still moving with motion. I got my brother with me, Doc. Also got my brother Josh with me as well in the building. And today we're back with a very special topic, man. But first, I want to make sure that of course, introduce our special guest today, joining us on the pod. Our guest is known for being a lyrical genius on the stage. I'm finna gas you up, bro. A
I was
lyrical
gonna say, oh wow.
genius, a lyrical genius out in the Houston, Texas area. Listen, he's a husband, he's a father, he's an author, he's a poet, and a role model to many, including myself. Someone that I specifically call a brother of mine, and a name that I've mentioned in season one as well. So listen, without further ado, man, I'm going to go ahead and welcome my brother Fred B to the
Yeah,
pod.
yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Fred,
the love,
welcome,
man.
brother.
Yes,
Appreciate the
sir.
love. Honored to be with you guys. Love what y'all cooking up. So it's my pleasure to be here.
That's a bet, man. Welcome,
Yeah,
Fred.
yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
amazing to have you, man. Yeah, finally was able to get you on. We had to shake some things up to get you, but I know you had some things on your schedule, on your plate. And listen, and even before I jump in, Doc, if you don't mind, he had a phenomenal show this past weekend, just 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, actually Saturday, 3 days ago now, out in Houston, and the show was amazing, and it was
That's what's
definitely
up,
worth
bro.
the 4 hour drive down to be there in person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so just an amazing output. Good folks was there, good poets, and man, it was a dope atmosphere too, and just seeing some good people.
Yeah, man. First of all, that's real brotherhood, man. That you would make that drive. I don't take it lightly. Like I esteem the people that just drove around the corner. Like I appreciate that because everybody spent their hard-earned money. But that's real love for you to make that trip just to turn around and go back to the family. I know that cost you something. And then shout out to my man Scott Free. Heart burns. The theme came from him. The logo came from my wife. And then the guest artist, I just want to shout them out, Red Lion, She's So Cold, and Kari Janae and the whole We Go Live
Absolutely.
team, man. Just it's like making a dream come true for a brother, man. So I really
Mm,
appreciate them putting out for a brother.
And listen,
respect, respect.
when y'all see his Instagram, you'll see the video, the clips, the highlights.
Yeah.
Gosh and
Mm.
Doc, I'm gonna have to fly all out next time or
Definitely
something so
going
that
to,
we can all go together.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was dope,
Abs-
you
Definitely
know.
gonna
Tune in for sure.
Yeah.
Man.
Appreciate
Hey,
that.
listen, I'm ready to dive into this topic. I am gonna pass it over to my brother Doc as always, but today's topic is gonna be, would 20-year-old you respect you now, today, in the flesh? Brother
Mm.
Doc, I'm gonna pass it over to you to go ahead and get us rolling. And without further
Yes,
ado.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in, fellas. Like always, I'll just kind of give my first take, and we'll dive into some questions that we have here that folks, kind of like caught the spoiler alerts and things like that, and send us some questions and some that we just kind of cooked up ourselves. But I think just based on like Brother DB said around the topic, at 20, most of us had a vision, of maybe success or, what manhood or life would look like. But I think the real question is that version of you, you met today, would he respect you, essentially, or would he be essentially, confused by the type of man you have become? And so, really, we just want to dive into some questions here, and I just want to start off a little light, you know what I mean, to just kind of get y'all perspective. What did 20-year-old you think life would be like now?
Who you want to jump in there first?
Hey
Go
man,
ahead,
if
Fred.
you
Anybody.
if you Go ahead, Fred.
Mm.
yeah, take it away, take it
Yeah.
away.
20-year-old me should be proud of me.
Okay.
But 20-year-old me would probably judge me harshly because 20-year-old me was very binary in his thinking, had a very
Mhm.
narrow lens of what success would be like. And, at that time, 20-year-old, 2020, I was already ordained in ministry and I was on that track, to be a senior pastor and, didn't have as many tattoos. You know what I'm saying? I have a little bit more liberty, a lot more liberty than that 20-year-old enjoyed because, what I thought was, righteous or what I
Mm,
thought was, being upstanding. I had such a very narrow lens of what being a good guy was. In fact, I don't even know that I see as much virtue in being a good guy anymore. I think good guys sometimes are pretentious, sometimes they are performative, and they sacrifice their authenticity to live up to an image, a facade that's really not sustainable.
Mhm.
But at 20, that's what I thought it was all about. Let's have this clean cut guy, but was I making impact? You know what I mean? I think I was so into self monitoring that I couldn't really move the way I wanted to move. So the more you become comfortable in your own skin, you're going to impact the people that you're supposed to impact versus trying to please everybody. I think the 20-year-old me had so many people I was trying to please. Uh, so that 20-year-old me would have definitely judged me and said, "Nah, man, you ain't it. You know, you ain't in church every Sunday.
Mhm.
Um, you ain't listening." I was just too strict. You know, you ain't listening to just gospel music. You know, because at
Yeah,
that time,
yeah,
that was my code, man. Let's burn up all this secular music, these heathens. I was very judgmental, man.
right,
So he would have judged me in that regard, but he would have been proud of me in other regards.
right.
I don't want to monopolize the mic, so y'all cut me off if I'm
No,
being
have at
too
it.
long.
Yep, yep,
Nah,
you
go ahead,
got it.
bro.
Man, you talking that talk right now, Fred. I ain't
20
gonna
year
Right.
lie.
old me was really into acquisition and achievements as well, right? Like you on your way up. You just getting you got a lot of ambition and you're driven by that. And sometimes you don't know how to manage that ambition. You're trying to do it, you're trying to win at all costs.
Right.
Versus finding out what that balance is, finding out what that rhythm is. And so I've already achieved the things. I've gotten multiple degrees, got a 4.0 and a master's degree. I got the wife. I've been married for 17 years. I got the two
Come on
kids.
now. Come on now.
We bought and sold houses and all that stuff. So I've done those things. 20-year-old me would be proud of that in that regard. But that's not what I'm after now, though. Now that I'm
Yeah.
45 years old, now it's not about acquiring. It's about what am I leaving? It's not even about
Mm,
becoming. It's about achieving. It's about being true to
Yeah.
myself, embodying the things versus accumulating the things. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not about what I get. It's not about the brand names. You know, back then I wanted all the gear, all the drip.
right, right,
Man, just give me a t-shirt. I make the outfit. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
right,
I'm
right,
yeah.
good.
right.
You know, I don't need much because I've had it and it's come and gone. I've been at the top of corporate ladders. And in my arrogance, I sabotaged and I had to walk back through those corridors now and apologize to people. And I realized, one, there ain't no real job security. This title don't really make you. The title just gives you permission
And
to now prove why you earned it. And let's see how you
Mm,
handle it. You know, so I learned that relationships are the real currency to life. And it's not just about me, but it's about my village. It's about putting on, like for my brother Derek, and like who am I surrounded with? Who am I helping? Who am I trading with? You know what I mean? Versus just
mhm.
me being fly guy. I don't want to be the dopest guy in the crew. You know, I
yeah.
feel like I
Yeah.
said, let me let that breathe and see
You know
what y'all
what? It's
got.
funny because you
Yeah.
hit on so many points, bro, that we've discussed even amongst ourselves on this
Yes.
platform. One,
Yes.
one being the good guy. The good
Mm-hmm.
guy is
Yeah,
is not really what you always want to be. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's to some it's not necessarily a good thing, right?
Correct.
And
yeah,
another thing you hit on was the brands, the name brand. I think we had a conversation about the name brands at one point
Definitely.
where I was
Yeah.
like, yo, listen, just at this, I go to Ross, I might grab a little something,
Ha.
something from Walmart. I
TJ
still get
Maxx.
love from,
Come on
right.
now.
I still get love from
yeah,
my Walmart jacket. But
yeah,
also another thing that you hit on that I don't think a lot of people, even at the age of 20, and I'm gonna kind of you just want to piggyback off of, is the titles at work. Man, it's so many things that we know now about the workforce. And I'll speak in depth to like layoffs, you know, people getting removed and maybe even companies out buying other companies. That's more so acquiring companies. We didn't really think about that stuff at 20. It was just more so about let's build on this corporate ladder, go from
yeah.
there. And even with my current title today, some people may think, "Yo, he getting it," but what about what's going to possibly happen next, right?
Right, right.
Um, but I'll say for
And
me,
can I
man,
clarify
oh
something,
yeah, go ahead,
Derek?
yeah, yeah,
I said good guy. Maybe I think I really meant to say nice guy. I think people think nice
Mm,
is the most virtuous thing.
hmm
Even in my religious framework, like I grew up in the Christian camp. Jesus didn't pride himself on being nice. You could be good, but not nice. I love this
right,
book by
right,
David Glover. I think No More Mr. Nice Guy. I must have read that book 2 or 3 times. I recommend it to every man that just needs to reclaim himself, like, because you got to get that roar back. You don't have to be a caricature of masculinity. You don't have to like
hmm
be this bravado guy, but you don't have to be this. You don't have to be a pushover either. And I
Right.
think even
right,
as family men, I've heard you guys talk about this. Sometimes as family men, you are becoming a martyr for your family. I don't think it requires that. That's also out of balance. you
Mhm.
know? So but I didn't mean to cut your wisdom. So I just wanted to
No, no,
clarify.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, I think we had different perspectives on like, well, more so the conversation around the good guy, nice guy thing.
Hmm.
But no, I was more so agreeing with you on that topic.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say for me, man, I think that the 20-year-old me would more so be surprised, a bit confused though, Doc. I think that was
Mm,
part of the question was confused. I
mm,
think that the path that I tried, and I'll say, man, I think I changed my path around about 24, 25 when I bumped into my wife, then some lady that bumped into me downtown in Denver at the time, right? And look, like Fred said, she almost missed her blessing one time because she tried to not even try to go further with the relate. Nah,
yeah, you
sis.
know what I'm saying?
Nah, sis, take this ring, stop playing.
Mhm.
But I think that's when my I kind of diverged from my initial path. I think my 20-year-old self will be kind of confused, like, bro, you doing what today? You did
Mhm.
Mm,
this because of how I grew up.
Mm.
None of this was expected, bro. None of this was in terms of having a house, and not just a house, but living in Texas. Not just
Right,
Texas, but the specific city that I live in Texas.
right.
And seeing who's living around me. I
Yeah.
think he would be, but I do think he would be proud too. Confused, but proud. Like, bro, dog, how did you get here? Because and that, not to mention, I'm willing to share this testimony with many, if whoever's willing to listen. Um,
yeah,
but I think just the path that I'm on, having, a family of 5, 3 kiddos, um, this was something that I couldn't even had thought would happen by the age of
Yeah.
35.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Proud but confused at the same time. But I look at both of those as a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be I wonder if we should be surprised if the 20-year-old version of us is not confused? Because there's no way in the world
Right.
at 20 we could have had it all figured out, though we
correct,
thought we did though, right?
correct.
And
Yeah,
along the way, there is some disorientation, like, "I had it figured out. How did I
Yeah.
get here? Why is it not
Yeah.
working right?" Yeah.
that's
And I
So I
absolutely what
that
I was gonna
I
say.
I think
Mhm.
it's also what society tells us, you know,
Man, that part
and
too.
we did the work, we went to high school, we graduated
Mhm.
high school, we went to college, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We graduated from college. Now we're supposed to get into this work field. But they didn't tell you, as soon as you graduate from college, they're gonna hit you with the student loans.
They sure
You know what I'm
didn't.
saying? They ain't tell us about that.
Oh, yeah,
They sure
That
yeah,
didn't.
that was a conversation I had to have. I said, man. And and
Bamboozled.
you finally get that first job, you know, I think that the hardest period right there in those 20s, was trying to find a job straight out of college. You're either
Yeah.
overqualified or underqualified.
yeah,
Then again, you have no work experience. So, but I proved to you that I've been to college for 4 years, four and a half
Straight.
years, however
Right.
long it took you to graduate. You know what I'm saying? That I can learn,
Right.
and I can make it through if I'm taught right. But, society tells you do this, do that, do that. You know what I'm saying? And, I feel like we all kind of align with that pattern, and that's what we did. But, if I had to think I'm back on 20-year-old Josh, man, and looking at myself now, I feel like he would be proud. Um, because I'm climbing those steps, the ladders of success. Financially, mentally, physically, spiritually. I think he would be surprised, but he would be proud.
yeah. I would say the same. I'll jump in, man, and I think what I would like to piggyback off of one of the points you made was around, people pleasing and being the type of guy that everyone liked, or felt comfort in, and not being comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I think that 20-year-old me or myself now, at the age of 31, I think he would definitely be proud, that there are boundaries that were set over the years, and to not just protect my peace, but to allow me to grow and stretch my arms out a little bit and not be boxed or limited, to a certain extent. Very ambitious, my 20-year-old self still am, but I mean, 20-year-old, I mean, man, very ambitious. My career path, I think, will be the surprise or kind of confusion a little bit. I
Really.
think the role that I hold as being a people's manager, I think that was always the case. I don't think it'll be a surprise in that aspect of things, but just my field in general may come
Yeah.
as a little bit of a confusion. But
Mhm.
life be lifing, man, and I think over the years things happens to where it just changes the trajectory of you. It grows you and it makes you, understand and appreciate things to a different magnitude. And,
Mhm.
and it allows you to also know that there are some things that you and people that you just have to let go and can't make it to the other season that you're going in.
Absolutely.
And so, my 20-year-old self will be very appreciative of the decisions that I've made to protect ourselves. Talking in the kind of like a double
Mhm.
stand here, but ourselves from some of those people who didn't have my best interest at heart,
Mhm.
but claimed that they did, for example, or the friendships and the brotherhood that I did make, with these two brothers here, and then folks that know it to be true in my circle, and making sure that we all are tapping into one another and pouring into each other to help each other grow. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
man, there's definitely gonna be some confusion, some facet of this of the it's like my aura and what I'm doing as of right now. But, being a family man was definitely my goal at 20. Being married, having kids, being in a position that I was able to provide for my family. And, all of those things I think was just things that was instilled in me. So that's always what I wanted. But yeah, definitely I would agree in regards to just like the wanting to be a nice or good guy and understanding that, man, I love the analogy about Christ as also like there were decisions that had to be made that probably didn't seem as
Absolutely.
good, you
Come
know what
on,
I
man.
mean?
Mhm.
And we have to understand that even if Christ did that, and was perceived in that way, who are we to not
Right.
be as well? And so, yeah, we can't be perfect in all aspects. We can't please and make everyone happy. And I had to understand that the hard way. But it was definitely some growth there. And so I appreciate y'all perspectives on this, man. I think like
Mhm.
that definitely kicked us all to more conversation here that which we'll dive into. On the opposite end of the spectrum, man, I'll throw this at you all, and whoever want to jump in can. What's something that the younger self, would think is pretty lame about your life right now, or uncool?
Man.
You know what I mean?
I think mine'll be just the structure. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much do the same thing. I wake up,
Yeah.
go to the gym,
Yeah.
try to play some golf, and that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't really go out that much. If I do anything, I just want to do something at the house. I'd rather be
Yeah.
inside versus, you know, when I was in my younger 20s, I think we talked about it
Yeah.
in previous episodes, how and it amazes me now, being in my field, seeing people being out there at the clubs, whether they're doing security or just driving by, seeing people
Mhm.
out at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning. Like now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If it's not a day party or something going on during a day function, I don't want to be around. I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
getting old. You know what I'm saying? But when you're
Yeah.
in your 20s, we didn't leave. We didn't get ready till about 10:30,
Come
11
on,
o'clock.
man.
Mhm.
Come
Yeah.
on.
You know?
Right.
That's a
So it's
fact.
so it's
That's a
so it
fact.
changes, man. It changes. I do not want to be out late, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Facts.
And we're still young. I'm 32, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
seeing that at an
y'all
early
gotta
age.
ease up on the young and old, though. I mean, come on, man. Let's ease up a little
My
bit.
bad, Fred. My bad, Fred.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
What you got,
I
Fred?
could
I'm gonna let you go, brother.
yeah.
Honestly, like, no cap. I don't think, my younger self would think anything is lame. Not to say that I don't have anything that can be considered lame. It's just that I've always been pretty regimented. I've always been pretty routine or ruin. You know what I mean? Like, task oriented. I'm still that guy. In fact, the more responsibilities I have, the more imperative it is that I'm structured like that.
For
Mhm.
But
sure.
I feel what you're saying, Josh. Like, yeah, I'm turning in early, man. But more so now because when I'm outside, I know my wife is usually up. A lot of times we got to kind of get out in shifts. She's outside, I'm with the kids, or vice versa. So I know
Mhm.
she's waiting on me, and she can't really rest until I'm home.
Mhm.
Right.
So I usually like if I'm at a poetry event, I spit and get. I don't do the lingering stuff like because I got something to come home to. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
get back to the house. Every
Love
time I step
Jones.
outside of the house, it's an opportunity cost. Like, okay, this is time I could have been spending with my wife or my kids. So let me do this. Pop out, show my face, dap y'all up. I'm get back to the house, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty I'm pretty much I work from home. I go to the gym, take kids to school or pick them up. May go to the gun range, pop out at a poetry event. I ain't really outside too much, man, so I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
It
that's
it
the thing for me is like the piece of the lame tag would definitely be tagged onto my lifestyle now of if I go to the office and I rush back home. I mean, I kind of sound just like you, Fred. I know
Yeah,
I got to get back home because my wife, she's been at home all day with the kiddo, or all three
yeah,
of them, if all three of them are at home.
yeah,
So it's like, look, 8 to 5, work. You got to get home. You're probably home by 6. Your wife is
yeah,
probably tired. You give her some free time to go to the room, go chill,
yeah,
relax. And then
yeah.
on weekends, man, I used to get out every almost every weekend. At
Yeah.
least I ain't gonna say every. I think I started skipping weeks when I knew I was starting to deplete the account a little
Mhm.
bit. So
Bread,
that
yeah,
changed
yeah.
up. Yeah, that changed up
Yep, yep,
quickly. But
yep.
but even then, on weekends now, a satisfying weekend to me if somebody called me like, "Yo, what you got going on for the weekend?" Nothing.
Come on.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
Nothing is
yeah,
planned this weekend, bro. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah,
like the small stuff, you got gymnastics and things like that, but in terms of like a big must, nah, I don't got nowhere
yeah,
to go. I don't got no events to go to. I don't got no, nothing going
yeah,
on. Those are probably what my old self would look at today and say, "Bro, you lame, dog. Like, what
Yeah.
you doing? What you doing in your
yeah,
free time now?"
DB,
yeah,
I think it's just, and we all can agree, it's just the content, and it's like the older I get, I'm just so
Mhm.
content with being at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
Like, I'm
I'm
enjoying my
content with
absolutely.
mortgage,
being at
man.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. I'm
yeah,
enjoying my mortgage.
Dude,
I love that.
yeah,
I love
man, I'm
that.
getting
Yeah,
all my money's worth.
it's
I'm trying to
enough.
tell
It's
you.
enough at this point. Shoot, that's where all
Yeah,
my money going. We finna live through this. We finna enjoy every bit of this.
It's
correct,
silly
man.
people out there too, man. The weirdos out there too that just make it very easy for me to make that decision of being home as
Mm,
well. I got people depending on me. I got a wife and
Mhm.
kids, man, and and,
Yeah,
and a
man.
family. And it's like no, I'm not gonna put myself, and granted you can even be in the right place at the wrong time,
Absolutely.
that's arguable as well. But I think you're a product of your environment for one. And I
That's
think,
correct.
definitely I try to surround myself with individuals and go to places to where, again, I'm just gonna get poured into and get fed, man, and not just, feel like I'm backtracking, man. There's some times like you called out Josh, man, where we'll come back from them parties, man. It'd be a lit party, but the next morning I'm
You
hurt,
hit.
man. Like
I'm hurt.
I'm hurting, bro. I can't
Yeah.
wait for them what is it, fried chicken Tuesdays that we
Yeah,
had at
man.
Chawan, man,
Tell
something
me
like that.
about it, man.
yeah,
Man,
Tell me
listen,
about it.
we used to go hard, man, and I think that'll be one for me. I'm definitely a homebody now, so I agree with what y'all are saying. I think the other thing too, because me growing up and playing sports all my life, and it was basketball, everything. I went to Chawan and I played soccer, but it was
oh,
basketball, everything, man. And so now that I play golf, I think my 20-year-old self would look at that as kind of uncool or lame too.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
it's one of them things where it's just like golf, like, dude, you never considered that whatsoever, man. And not to say I looked at the sport as lame, but I just never seen me tapping into that, and especially at like at a young age, you know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, I haven't picked up a ball in like over 2 years, which is crazy to even say.
Yeah.
I never thought I
Yeah.
would say that, but I think
yeah.
that's the other thing I would throw in the mix of like, my hobbies, I guess right now, when the things that I see, get pleasure from and peace from, my 20-year-old self would probably look at that as kind of uncool.
Now, because now as you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So 2 things. I wouldn't go as far as saying I love bingo. That
Mhm.
my 45-year-old self might look at that with a side eye, but I would love a good game night.
I'm
Like,
I'm sitting
that's
here waiting for the next part of that. Do you
A
like
good
yeah,
bingo or do
game
you
night.
not like
a good
bingo?
game night,
Yeah.
man. We get some
Okay,
Taboo
got you.
going.
There
Got
you
Yo,
you.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Taboo, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Real,
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
house, you know what I mean? Just
A
some good
good kickback,
fellowship,
man.
bro. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm with you, Doc. I'd rather be at the house. But also,
yeah,
Doc, just keying on what you said, brother, like,
Mhm.
you know, the places that you go and stuff like that, being outside, there's so much stuff that's happening. Like just even for in your city, well, in Wake
Right.
County, in Raleigh,
Right, right,
there's
right.
been like 2 shootings at the mall.
Yeah.
They've been
Yeah. At
shooting
Triangle. Yeah.
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah.
I used to run be on Glenwood. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They done had a couple shootings on Glenwood,
Yeah, bro.
and not just there, all over. My prayers and thoughts are with the family down there in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
father
Yeah.
that killed his kids, man. It's
Yeah,
it's it's
man.
just it's sick out here, man.
Yeah.
And you
It's
know what?
how do
I think
y'all do this though? Like, I'm hearing all of us saying we ain't really outside like that. Like, it's a lot of goofies. Where is the thin line between being afraid to get outside and then just saying I just don't enjoy those type of activities. I'm on a different frequency. Like, how do y'all distinguish? What would y'all say if somebody said, "Well, are you scared to get outside?" How would
Never
you
I'll
respond?
scared.
instantly I'll
I
instantly
ain't never.
respond no. It's
Yeah.
I don't think I mean even I feel like even if you kind of think about the folks that got their lives taken away recently in some of the spaces that Josh he just called out, I don't think we scared to go outside. Even those folks, I don't think they're scared to go outside either. I think we just don't know. Obviously, you don't know. You just don't know the unknown. And so I think as long as I'm moving in a good way, and to be honest, and when it's a blessing that we make it home every day, regardless. But I know that if I'm moving in the right way and something happens to me, I mean, I know my family is, going to be taken care of, things like that. I feel like if you get that piece fixed up first, I
Yeah.
think going outside, you'll be fine. Like in a sense, you'll be fine.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't say that I'm afraid to step out, but I'm
Yeah.
always watching. Even in your event this weekend, I feel like I'm always looking at like, all right, how we get up out of here if something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
right,
necessarily
right,
here,
right,
but I could be going to anywhere. But also that I don't even
right.
know if that's a good thing. That might be more of some kind of a
I
negative
respect it though.
drag on
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah. But I feel
Yeah.
like you
I'm a
always
little bit of that.
looking.
Like I don't like to sit. This might be some trauma. I don't like to go in a place and sit with my back turned. I don't know
Same.
how healthy
Same.
that
Same
is,
way.
but
Same here.
I'm not motivated to change it. I think that's that's just got to be. That's how it is. You
Exactly.
know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the alpha, the father, the protector in you. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure all of us carry.
Yeah.
It's your right to
Absolutely.
carry,
Absolutely.
and if you're going out, you should carry. I feel like people are fools. People are
Absolutely.
just crazy these days.
I'm in Texas.
You are serious.
That
Like
too.
something's wrong with you if you don't carry, because people are crazy.
I don't
Yeah.
wanna
It's,
go that far because me and my best friend now he's in California, and that's where that was home, that's where I grew up in, so we were kinda conditioned with different gun laws. I
mhm.
had to when I moved to Texas, I had to quickly adapt. Now I'm at the range about
Absolutely.
every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
got a
Well,
membership. Me and Derek used to go regularly.
Texas has the
Always
stand your
had it on.
ground law too. I mean,
Yeah.
you can, you gotta tread lightly in Texas.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
Man,
Yeah,
it's a
you
little
do.
different from
Yeah.
North Carolina, but
You can't even blow
Yeah.
the horn at people no more for real like that.
well, I'm
Hey,
trying to tell you,
right.
Yeah.
you
Right.
pull
Yeah.
up at the light, people pop out on you, man. I just say,
Yeah.
hey,
My
stay
wife
ready.
be on me with that because I guess because and I was in California, you could blow the horn.
Yeah,
It wouldn't take
Yeah.
much, man. Now she like, hey, chill out.
Yeah.
I
I
tell
like I
Yeah,
always
you,
tell
man.
Pavi, I'd be like, yo, listen, I said, if you weren't with me, just know I
Right.
would have been
Yeah.
but luckily you was with me today.
But
hey,
that's good for
Yeah.
us though, because I don't
hey,
want to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got it on me, but I don't ever want to have to use it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
lead
nope,
with that. Yeah,
nope.
Man, I pray every day. I'm like, man, we travel and stuff. I'm the type when we make a travel, I'm like, hey, say a quick prayer, whatever. Whoever riding with me, you getting a prayer too. And it's like, in that prayer, I say, man, like I gotta hope I don't have to use this today. You know what I'm
Mhm.
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I hope it ain't one of those situations where, cause, I listen, like I said before, and I think we all go by this motto, whatever, or standpoint of just like, man, I'm gonna get you before you get me. And
Yeah.
I don't want to take anybody away from their family. I don't want to harm anybody, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
But when you feel threatened, you have to get to that point. And so, yeah, I think going back to your initial question, Fred, man, I try to go out, and I think this was called out too. I try to go out during the day. I try to get all of that in to stay away from like the nightlife as much as possible. And if I do go out, it's in a group setting, you know what I'm saying? To where everybody is aware. Like we're not, I think the difference is, going back to the 20-year-old self, it's just like, man, we used to move recklessly, man. I'll speak for myself. I
Yeah.
used to move
Yeah.
recklessly,
Yeah,
in that going out setting. It's like some of them times, man, I mean, it was only but and by and through the grace of God that I got home safe. It
Hmm.
wasn't anything that I had no business driving. I had no business doing all of those things, but we made it through that. And I think those lessons are just like, all right, now I may have a drink or two, but I'm gonna be to the point where I know my limit and I'm cognizant of my surroundings and and what I'm doing and and what's happening around me. And everybody that's with me is on the same page. And the other side to that too is that, man, I try to tap into traveling more. You know what I'm saying? Like the local area stuff is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'll do like a good old matter of fact, it's like a little Cinco de Mayo thing coming out here. It's I think it's like a tacos and margarita type thing. I'm like, all right, I'm down for that. Like a little 12 to 4 situation. Count me
Yeah. During
in.
the
You know what
day.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But anything else, man, me and my wife, we, group of other married couples and stuff like that, we try to travel out, just to get that experience. And it's not to say things aren't happening out there either, but I
yeah.
think that's how I kind of approach, the transformation, of like going outside, if that makes sense. But yeah, awesome. So I think honestly, man, as we continue to talk about just like how growth, has happened, life obviously didn't go exactly how we planned, over the years, thinking about 20-year-old self to now. But that doesn't mean that, it went wrong either. You know what I mean? So essentially, like I'm curious of you all's thoughts on this question. Um, what didn't go according to plan, but actually helped you grow?
Oh, that's a good one. Is the starting point what didn't go according to plan from your 20s? Or are you just saying what was possibly missing from your life altogether that you thought was a deficit? But
I think it could be either or. I'll say any scenario that you have. It doesn't even have to be,
okay.
20s specifically. So yeah, good question.
I got two things that come to my mind. I grew up without my parents got divorced at 4, and then they had joint custody till I was about 11 or so. After that,
Mm,
my dad just got out of the picture. So I was raised single parent mom. And it's easy to romanticize something that you don't have. So you always grow up thinking, oh, but if my dad was here, it would be like this. It would be like this. Fast forward, I don't know, mid 20s, I caught up with him and tried to rap with him, had some questions that he just wouldn't be held accountable. He wouldn't give answers or whatever. I let it go, but I was actually underwhelmed. And I was like, damn, I thought you would have added value, but maybe it's cool that you got out the way. Cause
mm,
you wouldn't be somebody I would seek mentorship now. Like I got it. I got it now. And not that I got it on my own. I had mentors to fill in the blanks. But now I'm such a dope dad. I'm so intentional as a father now because I know what it feels like to have that void. I never want somebody to feel that because of something, my inaction or my absence. You know
right,
what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
right.
almost like I've transmuted that pain, that what was bad, and I found or I made some good out of it. I'm not saying it's good that it happened, but you know what I mean? I repurposed the pain, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's one. And then, as I alluded to earlier, and I share this sometimes, like I was locked in. My whole trajectory was I was intending to be a buff, a swole TD Jakes. Ministry was all consuming for me, man. That was my hobby, that was my passion, that was my everything. Like I was studying not just the book, but the teachers of the book. And I from how you run a church, like I was like when I met my wife, I was already ordained as an elder. Shortly after that, I became a director of education for a multi-campus ministry school, associate
Wow.
pastor, all those different things. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to be the pastor. That's gonna be my thing. Um, and then I stepped out of ministry. I said, well, especially once my kids started growing, I said, that's my first ministry. This is unstable. I can't balance this out. And I never wanted our livelihood and lifestyle to be at the mercy of the generosity of parishioners. And I said, well, either I'm gonna manipulate the scriptures to get this bread up out of them so we can live the way we want to live, or I'm gonna just do something else to supplement. And one thing led to another. I just left. I just closed that chapter. And I don't think there was any way I could have the type of fulfillment I have personally, um, if I would have stayed in the confines of that
Mm,
setting. I had to transcend that so I can experience life outside of those borders.
mm.
That's a part of my life. It's a part of my story. It's integrated into me. I don't count it all a waste, but I couldn't stay there, and it's good that I left out of that. You know.
Respect,
Yeah.
respect.
Fred, I got a question. This is a little
What's up?
sidebar, but
Yeah.
how do you feel about these preachers now of today's time, man? Just
Y'all,
doing.
hey, look, I don't want to get y'all banned. Eh, you should no, no, no. How do I
I'm
feel?
just, yeah.
Nothing's new. Let me let you finish the questions. I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
How,
Go
how do I
ahead,
feel
man.
about today's preachers?
I see a lot of like foolery going on, man. And as somebody that was brought
Yeah,
up in the church, and like you said, like, am I going to try to hustle these people out of their money? Nah, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
yeah,
going to step away. You know what I'm saying? You see
yeah.
a whole lot of hustling, especially
It's a
on
lot of
social media.
charlatans.
You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
Lot of
lot of
hustling, bro.
charlatans. Somebody said a pimp, a preacher, and a salesman walked into a bar, and the bartender said, "What can I get for you? Not what can I get for y'all."
Mm,
Y'all catch that
that's
little
deep.
lady?
That's heavy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
heavy.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of similarities. Now let me
Yeah,
not
yeah.
be too disparaging. My best friend right now is a pastor. I have people that I get counsel from that are pastors, so I respect them. So what I'm saying is one bad apple does not represent the large swath. There's good people out there, well-intending people. But I think the people that have the biggest platform, unfortunately, uh, are the least integral sometimes. Because you cannot, I don't know how you grow it organically to that size and it not be
Mhm.
GMO. Like there's got to be
Mhm.
some commingling with some other things.
Yeah.
That's a tough way to yep, to
That's not
make
to say
that.
it doesn't exist. It's just questionable. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
the ones that are really about the people generally average about 100 people in attendance or something like that. They're probably bivocational. They're probably going to work and doing the
Right.
ministry.
Right.
They not. That's my opinion. I'm willing to be proven wrong. I don't want to disparage anybody's faith,
Right.
tradition, or anything like that. Try to tread lightly on that.
Yeah.
No, that's
I
respect
think,
too.
me knowing Fred, I think that could be a whole conversation
Oh, it can
in
be.
itself, and not even in a bad way, but one that's
Yeah.
worth
Yeah,
listening to.
yeah,
Because I appreciate everybody's perspectives. I think Fred even said something. Fred, I'm gonna steal this out of your speech this past weekend
for
was
sure.
that we all have different miles,
Yeah,
and
mileage
the
may
road
vary.
that man, if Fred, if you can actually say that specifically, because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, I just said as I'm sharing my story, I never want somebody to feel like I expect them to fully agree with me or that I'm trying to proselytize them or get them out of their camp to, hey, I'm trying to sell you. You need to leave where you're at to come where I'm at. I want you to stay where you're grounded. I think it's irresponsible of me to come into your life, change the furniture around, and then I bounce. And I leave you in a confused state. That's not really a charitable way to handle somebody. I would only share some of these hard truths with people that are maybe already questioning some things. I like to leave people secure if I'm not gonna hold your hand and walk you to solid ground because it is disorienting when you found your identity in a set of beliefs that you may have never questioned. They were handed to you as a child before your brain was fully developed. You listening to the people who you assume have it figured out, but how much did they investigate it before they
Yeah.
started regurgitating these borrowed arguments? And then the longer you hold on to them, the longer they cement in your heart. And then now I
Mhm.
come along just offering something else for consideration. I'm an enemy and I threaten your whole world. I don't want to do that without
Yeah.
invitation. You know what I mean? And so I always tell people, hey, your mileage may vary. This is just my lived experience. And I'm trying to be charitable.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ain't trying to fight over something that I can't even put
No,
my
that's
hands on.
real,
A lot of
man.
times yeah, so
Yeah.
that's all. I
That's
don't know if
real.
that's where you were getting at, Derek.
It
Yeah.
was exactly.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. I'll say for me though, to even specific to your question, Doc, in terms of something that didn't necessarily go to in according to plan to me, um, that I appreciate today, and I think that also helped me grow was hearing no's. I think that I mean, even as a kid, and around our parents, mothers, fathers, whoever has have raised us, at times we're used to hearing a yes or we're hearing a no with the reason on the back end of it. And most times that reason is logical, right?
Mhm.
But I think the first, right out of undergrad, I applied for a role on campus with the person that I was already working with. And when I applied for that role for that next semester after I was done, I was a first semester graduate. I was told no. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. And it kind of took me back a bit because I'm like, I've been working with you for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now that I'm out of the student life and I'm now into the real world, your first response to me is a no when I held it down for 2 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when I say that, man, you can get 100 no's, but that one yes will literally change your direction, your entire life. And
Mhm.
just imagine if I did stay on the campus, right? I think that one, it wouldn't have been a stop back in Richmond. It wouldn't have been a stop to Denver. I would have never met my wife. Would have never had my kids. Or now probably, I could guarantee you, I wouldn't be in Texas if I'd have got a yes at that
Mhm.
point. So I'm so happy and in a sense even blessed to not have gotten that yes. It didn't go in according to my plan. I'm never used to hearing a no. Even when we apply for roles today, I don't want to really hear a no. But at the same time, I look at it now. I'm like, man, you know what? It's probably much better that I don't take that role. I've heard so much BS from this company before in the past. I just applied to see if I can even, if they was gonna bite. But bro, I want us to also know that every no is not necessarily a bad thing.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Just wait till
Yeah.
you get your yes.
Yeah.
Man,
It's
I
tough.
love that example. I think for me it was actually similar as far as just like a job opportunity fresh out of college, man. And it was actually in my career field. I think Josh, you hit on like how difficult it is to, I graduated undergrad with a psychology degree. And so,
Mhm.
coming out and being able to be a counselor was big for me. That was what
Yeah.
my passion is. And, I wanted to impact people in that way. And I heard a yes actually. And so this is a little bit on the opposite end of the spectrum here. And but in that experience, um, I learned so much because it didn't go as how I thought it was gonna go as planned.
Mhm.
I think our values just didn't mesh. There was a lot of things that the owners were trying to develop, while I was also trying to develop in my young professional career, and it just didn't coincide and mesh with one another. And not to say that it was all bad, I don't want to frame it that way, but I do think that with the what I've foreseen and the opportunity and, how I thought that, we could be as impactful, I just didn't feel like upper leadership viewed it the same way. And we were put in positions to where we definitely had to fend for ourselves, and I feel like it in a real situation. I mean, you thinking about people who's going through crisis, man, and homeless or in behavioral hospitals and all of these things. It was definitely uh those types of individuals and that type of pool of people, to where it was definitely hard to sometimes just be heard and get them to understand it and really understand
Mhm.
like how their decisions were impacting their lives, and
Mhm.
and how many bridges that they have burnt and things like that. And so we were already up against like a big a tall order there. And I think just not having that backing made me realize that this path wasn't going as planned. And I think that actually prompted and propelled me and my wife now to move to North Carolina. And with that move, that's where we were able to get the jobs that led us to where we're at now. And it was a blessing in disguise. But to our viewers, man, don't be afraid to move. Some people are so what's the word I'm looking for, man? So stagnant, settling for the
Mhm.
status quo, or because, my father or mother didn't get to this point and I made it there, I have to stay here. Like this is the
Yeah.
end all be all, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And while that was, true for me and to a certain extent, I had to bet on myself and I had to bet on my integrity and I had to bet on what I knew to be true. And I had to get out of that situation. And so,
Mhm.
I look back at that and I'm just like, man, it was a blessing in disguise and it helped me grow so much because one, now, I tailor my approach when I'm in a corporate world now. I don't take nonsense. You're not gonna talk to me any kind of way. You're not gonna talk to me like I'm uneducated or, I don't know what I'm here for a reason. We bleed the same blood. And we're going to coexist, even when we disagree. And so yeah, I'll digress there. But I think for me, it was definitely me receiving a yes, but in that yes, I learned a lot about people who I was dealing with. I learned a lot about myself or what I did not want for my life and my career.
Mhm.
And so yeah, for our viewers, man, don't be afraid to jump. Don't be afraid to move.
Hey, Doc, that sounds like a open invitation for you to start making your way to Texas. Hey,
Anchor
Hey
there,
man,
Tyler Houston.
hey,
Nah,
listen, listen.
not Houston. Come on up to DF Dub.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Hey,
Hey
hey,
man,
Fred, we've been talking about it, but go ahead, Doc. What you say?
no, I was gonna say, but hey, you've been trying to recruit, man. I don't know. Texas, I be seeing it pop on my timeline all the time. Boy, y'all have some beautiful homes out there, boy. I tell you,
And they
they
cheap
be trying to
too.
sell them things.
And
Yeah,
they
you
cheap
seen them
too.
Man,
too, Josh. Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
I
So
guess they be. I hope they don't be lying, but man, you can get a nice house in Texas for about three hundred
bang for your
thousand.
buck out there, boy.
So,
man,
so
God,
listen.
you, yeah, that's
I'm
real.
talking about pool in the backyard and everything.
Hey, hey, look,
boy.
it's coming with a caveat. Go ahead, Fred. What's the but? Because
Yeah,
I be
Okay.
because
telling them.
my people in California be like, oh, so now that you out there, you probably done bought a whole mansion and all that. But the caveat is them property taxes.
Them
That's
property
what I've been
taxes,
telling
boy.
y'all,
I
bro.
knew it. I
That's what
knew
I've
it.
been telling y'all.
I knew it.
I'm like, the property taxes alone is a whole mortgage, and they don't
And
And
put
the
y'all end up.
HOA.
Crazy.
Yep, and the HOA
That's
and
I
the
crazy.
knew it,
HOA.
bro.
I tell you what, them
Yeah.
house, man, I follow a whole bunch of real estate people, bro, and I
Boy.
see them pick. Yeah, I'll be like, that ain't no way that house is that cheap.
Yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
moved to Texas a couple times
I'm
off that
trying to tell
one.
you,
Like,
man,
dang.
Yeah.
them joints is nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
for
they are
sure.
nice though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
nice. And
Your
it's
money go further when it's time,
mhm.
when it's tax. Like right now, when I get off this, like this week, I got to protest my property taxes.
Yep, we do
In
too. We just
California, I
got
ain't
ours
even.
too.
Yeah.
Yep. We just got ours
Yeah.
It's
too. I'm
crazy
telling
like
you.
that.
It's
I
like
believe it.
that. You
I
playing
believe
yourself.
it.
I think they counting on people not even knowing that that's a thing. My
Right.
boy
Wow.
Diddy, he put me on it about 5 years ago when I was out in McKinney. I was like, oh yeah, because it's a very easy process. It ain't
Yeah.
tedious at all. You just got to know to do it.
Right.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know.
Right.
For that
Hey, one
property
thing that I
tax,
think we
boy.
all could attest to, I'm assuming because it sounds like everybody married on the call.
Not
Okay.
Josh.
Okay. Well, still, I think, one thing that went wrong or we thought was wrong at the time that now we look back like I'm glad it went that way is the chick it didn't work out with.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
Let's
Man,
talk about it.
listen, bro.
That's
Hey,
Let's
tough.
talk
social
Do you
media
about it.
helps
do you
confirm that.
have
You see
time?
them pop up on your timeline now, you be like, oh, I dodged I dodged
Hey,
one.
Hey, boy, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God had
absolutely.
my back, didn't he?
Absolutely. Hey,
God
man,
had
he
my
Now they
had
back
might
me
say
on
in
the
that
same
one.
about
mind.
us,
For
but
sure.
I
And
don't I
that's
don't think so.
cool. You
I
know.
don't think so. I honestly don't think so. But I'm
yeah,
gonna let that one go.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, man. Nah, I'm with that.
I'm weak. I agree with that for sure.
Pappy gonna be like,
110%.
who y'all was talking? Who you was talking about?
Right,
Who you was thinking about?
right. All of them,
Nah.
babe. Until I came here,
Right.
I'm happy all of
There
them
you
didn't
go.
work out.
Yeah.
There
Right.
you
And out of
go.
all of them, look who I chose. Look who
Yeah,
I
There you
chose.
go.
This trophy.
yeah.
Nah, but no, absolutely, bro. That's definitely another one. Hey, Josh, I don't think
Hey,
you went,
Josh,
brother.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, I think mine was me leaving the corporate world, kind of, sort of, because I always wanted to, growing up, you see like the suit and tie guy, you know what I'm saying? We just graduating from college and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? We dressing up. I don't know, I can't remember when we dressed up, Doc, but we dressed up on Tuesdays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
everybody wanting
did.
the 8 to 5 coming out, and
Mm-hmm.
my heart wanted to be like, I wanted to be a detective. Like, I grew up watching First 48 and all these other crime shows and stuff like that. And the corporate world wasn't just for me, man. Like, having a 30 minutes lunch break, um,
Yeah.
having 2 10-minute breaks throughout from 8 to 5, man. It's just, I had to be at a desk the whole time. It just wasn't it for me, man. And it wasn't until I was just driving in the area, and I saw one of our frat brothers at the gas pump, and I stopped there and talked to him, and he told me, he was like, if that's what you want to do it, man. This is the city that you need to go to. This is where I started out at, man. And I've been there coming up on 10 years in August, man. And it's just amazing, like following your dreams. And I became a detective like at an early age in my career. You know what I'm saying? I was what, 3.5, 4 years in, and I became a
Mhm.
detective,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's up.
um it's just been amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? So me not really wanting to work it out in that corporate world, like that 8 to 5 joint, it just ain't for me, man. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that straight out of college. My first job was working in insurance, and good money. You know what I'm saying? I talked about a previous episode. It was great money, but just that being there 8 to 5, 2 10-minute breaks and 30 minutes lunch break, man, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's not enough for me.
I ain't
So
gonna hold you. That ain't enough today. If they give you
no,
Bruh,
30 minutes, yeah,
30
look,
minutes.
that's enough time to get to the
Man,
car.
not
I
only is it
work
not
from
enough,
home, and it still ain't enough.
Man, 30
right?
minutes every beep 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 on that microwave is taking up your time, buddy.
That's real. When you put it like that, not only is it not enough as far as the break, the bag is not big enough. Like 6 figures used to be the goal.
Let's talk about it.
Look,
Man,
Yeah.
man,
the way
yeah.
inflation evaporate and then taxes and all that, man.
The
6 figures.
taxes, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm grateful, right?
Right.
Like with 6 figures, man, ain't
Yeah.
because these property taxes.
That too. Hey,
I
but you know
mean,
what?
Derek, shout out to you though, because you got kids. See, thank God, like, now my kids are in middle school. I
Mhm.
remember shedding a tear, like, oh, they growing up so fast, man. When they were about to leave preschool and daycare, and then I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, that mean I ain't got to pay this. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, them tear ducts dried up real quick. I was like, yeah,
Boy, tears
Yeah,
of
we was on
joy
the
at that
countdown.
point, boy.
Yeah, we was on the
yeah,
Yeah,
countdown with Nina, boy.
yeah,
But yeah, no, absolutely, man. Ain't no way. I swear, I still be looking today like, boy, and even Doc, he'll send me them houses every now and then. And I'm like, Doc,
yeah. I'm like,
don't
bro, is
let
this
this
real,
junk
bro?
fool you, bro. Do not let this
yeah,
fool you.
yeah.
But I think on the top of that, even with the 6-figure thing, Fred, one thing that I would like to just throw out there, this is my opinion. Anybody that's watching, make sure if you run a business, if you in a business doing something that's business related, get yourself a LLC. We could
Yeah,
talk offline about all that fun stuff in regards of the LLC, but get yourself an LLC that will help you
Tax
out
deduction.
tremendously. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
That
Hey,
and you
man.
talking about Fred, you said six figures. Man, I'm trying to tell you the value of a dollar, man. I remember how far a $20 bill could get you
Right.
7, 8 years ago,
Come on,
Yeah.
10
man.
years ago.
Come on,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
bro.
saying?
It can fill your tank up then.
But
When I
boy,
started
15.
driving, now y'all was already on it with the old stuff, but when I started driving in California, it was 99 cents a gallon, maybe $1.03 a gallon. I think they paying eight now. Trump is kind of, I don't want to be political on y'all podcast, but
No, do
yeah.
your thing, brother.
gas is
We
is a
we
lot
we we,
more
we
right now.
posting
But
this. We
huh?
posting. I said, do your thing, brother. We posting this.
Well, he got something to do with this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Inflation is one thing, but he also is a variable, especially right now with the
Mm-hmm.
oil and everything, with
Absolutely.
how things are going. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's all facts,
Well,
man.
unless I'm connecting dots that are not there, because I've also heard arguments that say, they're not directly related, like the type of oil and how that affects. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn, but from to a layman, it
Yeah.
looks like, yeah,
And
Absolutely.
yeah,
he messing
I'm
up
with you
the
on that.
yeah he messing up the bag, and
Yeah.
it's crazy because
It's
people
just
kept talking
it's
about the
just the
price of eggs, and I'm like,
man.
y'all
It's
thought he bankrupted a casino. Y'all thought casino is rigged. You know what I mean? Like, never
Man,
mind.
listen.
I don't want to do
The
that to y'all.
writing was on the wall, man.
man. I'm trying to
Boy,
tell
I
you,
come
man.
out the grocery store with 3 bags, bro. It's been over $100. I'm
Set
trying to figure
150
out.
I'm trying
easy.
to
It's
tell you.
crazy. It's
Bruh, I
I
crazy.
used to
told
spend
you.
It's crazy.
$350. That'd be for the month. $350 sit in the front seat now. You know,
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
for one
Right.
bag.
You
I
Yes.
you
don't
mean
even
you mean
pop
put
my
you mean
trunk.
look, they be like,
You
you
ain't even
you wanna
part
put
of the
your bags
trunk.
in the back? Nah, put them in
Yeah,
right here. You can put
In
them
the
right
front,
here.
Put them in the
man.
something,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
The
that's insane.
the
That
value
is
of a hundred
insane.
dollar bill is what we cherish the $20 bill 15
right.
years ago. You know what I'm
And that
saying?
ain't even hyperbolic. That's real. That's
Yeah. You
yeah,
spend $100 like it's you know,
yeah,
it's amazing how times have changed, man, and stuff
Absolutely.
is, man. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Gas could be $10 a gallon. People still gonna spend it.
Oh, you got
So
to.
one
Gotta
day
go.
we should, or y'all should, maybe not y'all should, but maybe it's worth talking about. So what's the plan then? In my eyes, investing is a
Mm.
must now. It used to be like something that, I guess, the elite, like you was up if you were investing. Now it's like you got to invest. They're talking about
Yeah.
LLC. That's just average. You got to do that just to
You gotta do
be
it.
average. You
Mm-hmm.
know, cryptocurrency. I know people kind of side eye that because they think it's speculative, but where are you putting the money? The
Mm-hmm.
dollar is clearly being devalued. Like,
And you, and you
and
know
with
what's
this
funny?
administration, even more so because
Absolutely.
of the economic uncertainty, how volatile the president is, and people are losing confidence in how we moving.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You
Yep.
know?
And listen, I think you were probably one of the first folks that I spoke to. Now I will say back in the day, me and Zach, we talked about it heavily. But I'm not sure if either one of us took like crazy motion into the stocks and things like that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, when I met Fred years ago, and he was heavy in the crypto game and in the stock game,
Yeah.
that made me want to level up. So I think even kind of speaking about one
Mhm.
of our topics that we have today in terms of growth within our younger self, um, that was something that I feel like we all need. And not to knock your age, Fred, but I appreciate the wisdom that Fred brought about within my life because,
Right.
and I recommend for many other brothers to get somebody that's been through this as well. Fred, it's funny because I was telling I think I was telling Clay this past weekend. I was like, man, listen, Fred's 10 years older than me. And also he's 10 years in his marriage more than me. That's two tens. And I'm like, bro, You
Yeah.
can't tell me this won't like a dope match. Is the fact that this just seeing some of the things that you've done, having the kids, going through
Yeah.
the investments and things like that. I was like, I gotta get right. I gotta get on point
Have to.
because this dude pouring into me, I gotta have something to say back to him when he start talking about this investing stuff
Yeah.
because I don't want to
No,
lose that,
no.
right?
Let
And
me let me
so,
just let me just let me just explicitly say, I appreciate the sentiment, but you ain't got to perform for me, bro. You know
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Because somebody giving me the game, it's my reasonable service. If you get down with me,
That's a
who
yeah,
fact.
what
Fact.
caliber of person am I to gatekeep if I
Mhm.
right,
call you my brother? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
right,
So
right, right.
don't ever let me just explicitly say, nah, man, I'm happy to share. It's
Mhm.
cause you get down with me. I want my whole team to win.
That's a
Just
Facts.
fact.
that. Just you being solid is enough. You're not indebted. You don't owe me that. Now
Yeah,
you just pay it forward to somebody else with that same generosity. That's how we keep that going.
yeah,
For
Cause
sure.
somebody else
absolutely,
giving me the game, you know?
absolutely.
Everybody eats mentality, man.
Yeah.
Everybody eats. I love that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
I
fact.
think that's a
Yeah.
good segue too, man, because like as we talk about giving game to like younger generation, whatever, like I think like as we kind of, approach like closing as far as wrap up, man, just maybe like one or two questions I have. But obviously going back to the theme here of yourself being like the younger generation here. So like what would make 20-year-old self proud of you today? And what advice would you give them if you had one conversation? And I could kick it off,
Mm.
man, and then we can,
Oh yeah,
as y'all
feel
think
free.
about it. But I think for me, the what my 20-year-old self would be most proud of was just, um, I think there are a lot of opportunities for me to waver, from that point up until now. Waver meaning, just again going back to like my integrity to people who mistreated me or had my name slandered in different ways and, not clapping back, really just moving in a position of just like very solid, and in a position of where it's just like I know myself and I know what's to be true. And I know I'm not perfect, but I know that that's growth that's needed. But at the same time, understanding and being true to myself, I think that my 20-year-old self will be most proud of that and not again following the status quo, but really just kind of like creating my own path in a sense, and I think going to Fred, what you alluded to earlier, man, and transitioning. Not that I'm there yet, I'm still kind of in that becoming stage, but setting myself up in a foundation now that I have kids of like transitioning into like what am I leaving behind, and so I think definitely I'm taking the steps in the right direction. I think my 20-year-old self would be most proud of that. And I think like what advice I would give myself at that age, man, would just be stay the course. Where you feel like you have things figured out, live a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Be inquisitive, ask a lot of questions, and I will also say just make sure you surround yourself with a lot of solid people and don't be afraid to make mistakes because essentially it's not a loss, it's a lesson. It's not a L, or it's a L, but the L is more for that lessening and learning ability. And so yeah, man, that'll be the nature of my conversation of just like really staying rooted, staying grounded, keeping the people that are down for you close to you in these next stages of life, and just not be afraid to fail. Really go out there and the sky's the limit mentality and get what you want to get, and move in a direction that you want to move, but be calculated and intentional about it. And
Hmm.
that's what I would advise to myself. Now I'll pass it over to whoever's ready, man.
You said a lot of I share the same sentiment really as what you said. You're spot on with what I would say. But to say it succinctly, never lose your curiosity, because I think that leads to the stagnation.
Mhm.
It's a overconfidence. I already got it figured out. All I know is all there is to know, and that's never the case, man. So even to your point about becoming, I'm still becoming.
Right,
I'm
right,
ever
right.
Hmm.
evolving. You know what I mean? I can never say like I've seen it all. Then I'm losing because the world
Right.
around me didn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I gotta be adaptable. The
That's
second thing
respect.
is gratitude is its own reward. It's a multiplier. And that's going to enhance any hardship I'm in. I got to find something to be grateful for because it could always be worse. And that's going to keep me from sulking and get me quicker to being back on my feet. And then this probably the most paramount is to never betray myself. Similar to what you already said, because like people are quick to say you only got one whatever, you only got one wife, you only
hmm,
got one
hmm.
parent, one mom, one dad. I only got one me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and if I sell myself out for your validation, when you take it, where do I'm gonna be homeless. Where do I go back home to? I always gotta
It's
return back
heavy.
to me. I wake up and go to bed with me. I look me in the face, and so I gotta make peace with my decisions, even if that means I'm a villain in somebody else's book.
Mm.
I gotta be the hero to myself if nobody else, man, you know?
That's a fact. That's a fact. I couldn't
Yeah,
word it better, man. I appreciate that perspective for sure.
yeah.
Look, I'll even jump in terms of what would make 20-year-old me proud of me. That you kept your word when things got hard. That one I was definitely I can indulge on in many different faucets, right? But I'll say one was very clear and it spoke very loudly to me when I was in Denver. I just relocated to Denver. Man, I was probably at the bottom of the pits, broke at this point. And I didn't know where I was gonna park the next day because we had to pay for parking. I worked downtown and I had to and I didn't have anything to eat at the time. So um for me at the time, bro, I was like, "There's nothing I can do. This is literally out of my control." It got hard, and I sat in my car and I prayed. And at that moment, I was like, "God, I'm just giving this one to you because I don't know how I'm gonna park tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do." And out of nowhere, I opened up my email. This was within a 5 minute span. I opened up my email and I see on my Capital One app, it says you've been given a proactive credit limit increase. Never seen that before.
Mm.
I worked at Capital One at one point, and I've never
Nah.
seen us give proactive
Right.
How
increases.
long did the tears flow? How long were you
Yeah,
sitting
Bro,
before?
boy.
it probably took me about 15 minutes to just gather myself because
Yeah.
I
that
feel it.
literally
I
gave me like an
feel it.
additional 2 weeks of like, I don't even need to get paid at this point, right?
Yeah.
And so I sat there for about 15 minutes and I went to the nearest barbecue spot right across the street because I
I was
was
about to say
hungry at the
crab
time.
legs. Okay, yeah, the
I was
barbecue.
hit.
Yeah,
Nah, not crab legs. Nah, not
yeah,
crab. They was too expensive for my liking at the time.
yeah.
So but nah, man, that's probably one thing that I would say is that, and that's just a small example, fellas. But definitely you kept your word, and that look, that's even in my marriage, that's in the workplace, that's with friendships. Things got hard, but at the same time, sometimes you might have to go back and look in the mirror, look at yourself,
Mm.
and reflect a little bit. But I think one thing that I would give in terms of advice to my 20-year-old self is to start sooner. I would say, listen, at the at the age of 20, while you're still in undergrad, if you can, you getting paid with the on campus work. I forgot what it was called.
Work
Invest
study.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Work
work
study.
study.
Mm-hmm.
Invest now. Start a business now. Start focusing on your health now. I think those are some of the things that I took very lightly at the age of 20. Not to say that I'm still taking it lightly today. I mean, I still got room for improvement. But definitely start sooner and to stop caring so much about other people's opinions. I think that was a heavy one. I mean, probably just as of recent, maybe into my 30s, where I'm like, let me make sure I'm doing this, and this, and this. And I'm like, dog, the only thing I'm doing is driving myself into the ground. If I continue to
Right.
try to appease and appeal other people, what am I doing for myself? What am I doing for my family? And then last but not least, in terms of the advice, is to just take more risks. I think that that's one thing that we, even within the Black community, that we don't do
For
much enough
sure.
of, is
Mm-hmm.
we don't take enough risks. And I would recommend anybody to at least try it. And look, even now, my wife and I, we have conversations today where I'm like, just try it. Let's see what happens.
Just see
I
what
I, I got
happens.
this
Yeah.
side held down. Try it. If we fail, we try. If you don't try, I feel like that's really the biggest piece. You got to try it. And if you fail, at least you jumped in. Those are some nuggets, man, that I tend to keep with myself, bro. And I hope that helps. I hope that helps somebody else. But I'm going to
Yeah.
pass it
Yeah,
over to my
man.
brother
And
Josh.
I'll
It's
piggyback.
respect.
I'll close it right here. Um, I've always been taught, and my mom always told me, you're a leader. You're a leader. So when it came to the work field, I really didn't care too much to be a leader. I wanted to go to work and get my bag, and that's about it. But being knowledgeable in the profession and having the poise and the maturity level to be a leader, like I said, I feel like I dodged that for so long because I could have
Yeah.
been promoted long time ago, but I was very selfish, and not wanting to give these gems like Fred said, if I know it, if I got it, that's free game for you. You know what I'm saying? So for me to not want to mentor these younger officers coming in the field, like I'm doing myself a disservice, and I'm doing the department a disservice too. So it wasn't until I got promoted in this last process that me and my mama went out to eat, and I was on the way, and man, I just broke down crying, man, because I'm just like, I've been trying to duck and dodge this position, this new position,
Mhm.
my career, and like, I was I shied away from it for so long, and like I finally did it just to say the hell with it, just put my name in the hat.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
came number 1 out of like 8, you know what I'm saying, going for that same
Hey.
position. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
it just taught me that, bro, anything you wanna do, you could do it, but and like I said, I was just really and when I got the call from the chief, he was like, "This what you want?" I was like, "Man, I was really just" you know what I'm saying?
I'm
You
here
know?
now.
But I was ready for it, you know what I'm saying? I was ready
Yeah.
for it, and I took it on, and it's been a rewarding experience, man, so, you know, uh to my 20-year-old self, he will be proud that I am the leader that I've been, growing up and stuff like that, trying to take charge, trying to be a team captain, trying to do this and do that. And then what I would give the advice that I would give is just like you said, Doc, keep going, keep pressing, keep moving. You know what I'm saying? The work doesn't stop here. You know what I'm saying? And Fred, what you said, if I got something that I got, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give it to you. It's free game.
For
Mhm.
sure.
It's free
For
game.
sure. Respect, man. Respect.
And look, the biggest thing, man, you miss every shot you don't take. I don't think that
Correct.
some of us know that.
That's correct.
Uh, we might not think the role for us, but that might open up an avenue for you for later.
That's
You might
correct.
not thought you was number
Absolutely.
one, but look what happened. You
Right.
know?
It's a fact.
Can I say something else to that
Yeah,
same
yeah,
point?
shoot.
And I'm trying to tread lightly because I don't want to I want to jeopardize your views and things like that. So let me try to make it encrypted.
Transparent space, brother.
There
You
is a
good.
demographic of people as mediocre as they can be, still will apply for the job knowing they don't have the qualifications. And a lot of times we are overqualified and we talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
But they will just submit the resume and get it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shoot the shot.
Yeah.
110%.
Mhm.
Yeah.
110%. I
Yeah.
see it
Shoot the
happen
shot.
play out all the
Yeah.
time.
So
Mhm.
And
my
you know what?
prayer, you heard the prayer of the serenity prayer. Maybe it needs to be updated. Lord, give me the audacity
Mm.
of some of these mediocre folks that
Facts.
don't qualify.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
Right.
saying?
Facts. And listen,
100%, bro.
I even
Yeah.
love the fact that in terms of what society put on us as 20-year-olds, we're exactly where we need to be. That's one, but we're
Yes.
where
Correct.
they didn't think that we would be. And so
Yeah.
I want us to make sure that we continue
It's a
to
good
tap
point, bro.
ourselves on the back and applaud the ones around us too, because man, I think it's enough for us to get up every day to even put in for that position that Josh just got. To put in for the role that Doc has, to be on stage, Fred, in your space as a poet. These are not easy spaces to be in. And then not to mention, not to just be seen, but to be a leader in these spaces.
Yeah.
And
It
some of the best of what
compounded.
we do.
Black folks, we were prohibited from even learning how to read. And you talk
Right.
about now doing poetry?
Come on, man. Come
It's
on, man.
tough, man.
It's not lost on me. We done came a
That's
long way,
heavy.
bro.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen,
Yeah.
I think this is a proper way for us to close, man. Brothers, obviously, I appreciate you guys every episode. Fred,
Absolutely.
I can't thank you enough, bro, for just taking the time out of your busy schedule.
That was
I'm gonna
dope.
Yes,
pass it
sir,
over to
man.
you. I'm gonna pass it over to you in just a second as well, so the way
Yeah.
we can get everybody to be able to get in contact with you. But some of the things I want to make sure I call out specifically is that for our viewers to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I know it was when the doc he called it at the top of the session, but it's one that I keep very close and near to dear to myself. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm actually curious too, so leave some comments below in terms of what would 20-year-old self think is lame for you today.
Yeah.
That's a takeaway. And also, one thing that Fred he said was that give the game to the next generation, and maybe not even the next generation, but just somebody that's a little younger than you, right? I want to make sure that we're giving free game, especially if they're in our vicinity. The last two things I had is take the risk and also make sure that you stay grounded. But again, it's a pleasure, brother, to just have you in the pod with us. I want to give you the space and the time to just provide to everyone that's watching a way to get in contact with you, some of your socials. I'm gonna go ahead and pause for a second and give you the floor.
Yeah, I ain't hard to find, man. I'm most active on IG. My handle is I am Fred B. And so tap in with me. You'll find content around fitness, family, and fine arts, namely poetry. If you want to book me for, so I do, professionally, I do leadership training. I'm 20 years in the game with that, so in a corporate space. So if you want to book me for that, for workshops, speaking engagements, I got a panel this Saturday. All that information you can find on my Instagram, or you can go to my website, bookfredb.com. Would love to connect with you, and it was an honor to tap in with y'all.
Absolutely,
Most
man.
definitely, man.
I appreciate that, bro. And listen, I'm DB. I'm here with my brother Josh, my brother Doc. And what is this? What is this space? This space is Mic Check, a space where we're being very transparent, a space. And one thing I never added, but I was thinking about it, fellas, on the last couple, is that these are conversations that black men just do not typically have. And I'm
Correct.
so glad that this is a platform that we're doing just that, and then being able to share it with others too, and making it known that it's okay to have these conversations. But a very transparent place. I enjoy being here with the fellas with the conversations. And we're gonna call this one a wrap. Episode 11, we out of here.
Yes,
We
sir.
out.
Peace, y'all.